Hi guys, one of the many victims in this war between Hamas and the State of Israel is a bit of humanity. What I mean by this is how a representative of the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, who is opposed to Hamas, was browbeaten by a BBC journalist after he explained how members of his extended family, including children, had been killed in an airstrike. The current situation in the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians is too complex for me to get into, and I'd be frankly insulting the victims on both sides if I attempted to inject my ignorance of both histories by doing so. But the fact that this man, who represents an organization that is in no way connected to Hamas and operates in the West Bank, not Gaza, and how he was constantly asked to condemn something is poor journalism. Have a listen.
Now, of course, there's more than 800 dead in Gaza, including members of your own extended family. Do you know what happened to them?
They were just sitting at their home and they were simply bombarded. Their entire building was brought down. My cousin, Aya, her two children, her husband, her mother-in-law, and two other relatives died immediately, were killed instantly, and two of her youngest children, a twin, 2 years old, are now in intensive care. This is truly heartbreaking, and the issue here, Kirsty, is that they have no bunkers, they have no Iron Dome, they have nowhere to go. They are simply sitting ducks for the Israeli war machine.
I'm sorry for your own personal loss. I mean, can I just be clear, though? You cannot condone the killing of civilians in Israel, can you, nor the kidnapped families?
No, we don't condone, and we are very clear, Kirsty. We reject any targeting or harming of civilians from all sides. And you are talking to a Palestinian representative, official, the ambassador that I represent my government, the PLO, the national movement of Palestine, and we have been committed to this for 30 years, not just today or yesterday, for 30 years, since the signing of the Oslo Accords. We have committed to non-violence. We have committed to negotiations, as you know.
Yes, and
so this is nothing new. That's why this question, we have done everything in our power to find a different path.
But we have a situation now, as you heard there from Mark, that Hamas may be an empty threat, threatening to kill hostages. Do you condemn that kind of action?
Listen, hostages must be protected and must be made safe and kept safe. Absolutely, this has no discussion whatsoever. We must return the moral high ground, and Israel must immediately cease targeting civilians. And by the way, Kirsty, allow me to say this. This is an Israeli military doctrine. They call it the Iron Dome. Whenever there is such an incident, they go after the civilians to pressure the fighters. So you've heard one of the Israeli
Well, we know there's been a lot of strikes
just 2 minutes ago. He wanted to starve the people in Gaza. He wanted to cut electricity and water. These are war crimes, collective punishment.
So there is a possibility that both the UK and the European Commission will cut aid to Palestinians. What's your reaction to that?
That would be very, very counterproductive, and it doesn't serve anything. They will do exactly what is Israel doing. They will do exactly the collective punishment and punishing the people who has nothing to do with this. My cousin is not Hamas. In fact, her husband works for the Palestinian Authority, the opponents of Hamas. These kids, 4 years and 2 years, have nothing to do with Hamas. Everybody, including these silly ideas in the world, are punishing the people that have nothing to do with this.
And we know that children
Kirsty,
that are young are also have died in Israel. So,
my goodness, this is so frustrating. This man has just told you about a situation that his family are experiencing, and you're trying to turn it around and get some sort of condemnation out of him. Why? Why is that necessary? What does it achieve? He has explained that his family is not Hamas and his organization is not Hamas. It's a completely different organization in the West Bank. It's not in Gaza. It's a peaceful organization. It's not the same as Hamas. Now, surely the BBC journalist understands this. Like, even I understand this, and I know very little about the situation. But you're browbeating this man who has just lost members of his family, and you're asking him, well, make sure that you condemn what what Hamas is doing. His organization is opposed to that. He has explained it. We're a peaceful organization. We don't want to go down this route. We want to go down the road of peace, negotiations. That's what should be happening. Why is there always this attempt to convince people to condemn something or get somebody to condemn something when you already know their position? What does it achieve? It just seems like you're trying to, I'm not saying she's doing it directly, but it seems that you're just trying to turn the knife. This man is suffering at the moment. He's lost members of his family. He's opposed to Hamas. His organization is opposed to Hamas. They want to achieve an agreement with Israel through peaceful means. And you're asking him, well, when he raises real concerns that he has, that his organization have, you're saying, well, what about on the other side? Does she do this with the Israeli government when they come on and say, well, what about the other side? I hope it is, at least for balance. But that's not the point here. The point is you're browbeating this man who's lost members of his family. I understand he's a politician and we generally don't treat politicians like humans, but a bit of humanity here. He's lost members of his family, children included, in an airstrike. And his organization doesn't want to fight fire with fire. They want to go to the Israeli government and open negotiations to try and end this. But there is this idea within the media, it seems, that they're all the same. The Palestinians are all the same. And this is really worrying for me. And I'm condemning the European Commission here, but when they say that they're going to cut off funding for the Palestinian people. Because this funding is not for Hamas. This funding is not designed to go to Hamas. If Hamas benefit from it in some way, that needs to be sorted out. But you can't punish the entire population because of the actions of this organization. People are struggling. We're going to hear now about how water, electricity, and food is being cut off from Gaza. Yes, there are terrorists there, but there are also ordinary people. People who have nothing to do with Hamas. People who would condemn Hamas. They're living under a regime. This isn't going to help anyone. And the fact that the European Union or the European Commission and the UK government are planning to cut off funding that's necessary for the ordinary people, I'm condemning that. This is a disgrace. These people need support now. Not Hamas, they don't need support, but ordinary people do. And the fact that they're being ignored or that they're being condemned in a sense is a disgrace. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.